Hello, a very good evening and welcome to the 24th International Film Festival of India, which is beginning here shortly at the sprawling Siri Fort complex here in New Delhi. Well, the people of Delhi have waited a long time, 3 years to be precise, for the festival to make a return to the city. It went away first to Calcutta in 1990, then 91 it was in Madras, and last year in Bangalore. But now it's back and it's a big night tonight for the people of Delhi. And there is, of course, this familiar sense of anticipation all around. People want to know what are the films on offer. And to make a beginning for the curtain to go up on the festival, I think they're pretty excited that the film chosen is Howard's End. It's very special for the people of the city that such a film should be chosen for the opening because it's based on a novel by E.M. Foster. Foster, of course, is somebody we in India have always felt a very special affinity towards. The producer of the film is Ismail Merchant, and even as I say that, let's take a look at the glitterati who've been rolling into the main auditorium at Siri Fort. A whole host of diplomats and the glitterati of the city, filmmakers from all over the world, actors, actresses, some of whom you might even recognize, some of whom I might try and recognize for you. Those are some of the posters out in the foyer of Siri Fort. Cape Fear, there you see. And as the festival opens with Howard's End, the fair coming up is going to provide the warmth that is much needed in this cold city. A whole host of films, as I said, have been lined up, beginning with Howard's End, and then we have the Cinema of the World section, which is a fair show window of the best in international cinema the last couple of years. The retrospective packages in particular are very exciting, I think. The Italian filmmaker Vittorio De Sica, there have been 15 films from the Italian maestro which have been chosen for the festival, and it's something to excite the senses of any film buff. There are films like Bicycle Thief, an enduring masterpiece of cinema, and then we have films like Umberto D, Shoeshine, and a wonderful film called Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. The Sica apart, there is a wonderful package from France, from the French production company, in fact, called Argos Films, which has been responsible for the production of some of the best films known to cinema. Directors like Alain Resnais, Robert Bresson, Jean-Luc Godard, Nagisa Oshima, Volker Schollendorf, Wim Wenders, all of them have their films in this very special section. Then there is a tribute to the Kaurismäki brothers of Finland, Aki and Mika, and there are the early Swedish films of the Swedish actress Ingrid Bergman. We know Ingrid for her Hollywood films, the films she made with people like Alfred Hitchcock, and of course the great masterpiece Casablanca by Michael Curtiz. We also know her for Whom the Bell Tolls, but these are the early films of Ingrid Bergman, films which made her the star that she eventually became. There is also a focus on Vietnamese cinema, and there is then the Indian package. The Indian package has 20 films in the Indian panorama, apart from which there are tributes to some great figures in Indian cinema. There are people like Bhalji Pendharkar, the Marathi filmmaker, who won the Dada Saheb Phalke Award last year. There is a special tribute to him at this festival. And then apart from him, there is the Bengali actress Kanan Baladevi. There is a tribute to her as well. Apart from that, there is the mainstream section, which will have a dozen odd films. And all in all, I think it promises to be a very exciting festival, a show window, if you like, of the best that has been there the last 2 or 3 years in international cinema as well as Indian cinema. We are waiting for things to be in a state of readiness inside the main auditorium, and as soon as things are ready, we shall take you inside. Meanwhile, let me just tell you about Vittorio De Sica, which I think is a special highlight of this festival. His film Bicycle Thief is one of the earliest statements of Italian neorealism. A wonderful film it is. It is a film which I think has inspired a whole host of filmmakers, both in India as well as abroad. We know that Raj Kapoor, for instance, was inspired by this film, and some of it you see in his film Avara. Him apart, of course, our great, perhaps the greatest filmmaker this country has ever produced, Satyajit Ray, was much inspired by the art of Vittorio De Sica and Bicycle Thief in particular. Bicycle Thief apart, Umberto D is also a tragic and a touching masterpiece. Umberto D apart, there is Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow, which I think is a wonderful film. You should try and see it if you can. I absolutely love the film. There is this terrific scene in the film. Sophia Loren and Marcello Mastroianni, incidentally, are the stars of the film. Sophia Loren is pregnant in the film, and the word goes around in the neighborhood, she's got the belly. It's quite wonderful, actually. Vittorio De Sica apart, there is the Argos package, which is full of cinematic gems. There is the film by Alain Resnais, just 32 minutes long it is. It's called Night and Fog. It is one of the great masterworks of cinema. And all seems to be now in a state of readiness inside the main auditorium. So let's just go inside. I'll hand you over to the compares there.
1952 में हमारे देश में पहला अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फिल्म महोत्सव का आयोजन किया गया था और तब से आज तक हम कभी प्रतियोगी तो कभी गैर प्रतियोगी फिल्म समारोह का आयोजन करते आए हैं। ये महोत्सव कलाकारों के लिए एक ऐसा संगम स्थल है जहां कला के अलग-अलग क्षेत्रों से आए सभी कलाकार एक जगह एक साथ मिलते हैं, चाहे वो चित्रकार हो, अभिनेता या तकनीकी क्षेत्र का ही क्यों ना हो। एक स्पॉट बॉय से लेकर एक क्लैपर बॉय तक और लेखक से लेकर क्रिटिक्स तक सभी एक साथ सोचते हैं, देखते हैं और समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फिल्म समारोह एक ऐसा संगम स्थल हम लोगों के लिए है जहां हम ना केवल अपने देश के बेहतरीन फिल्मों को देखने का मौका पाते हैं, बल्कि हमारे साथी विदेशों में जहां कहीं भी हों किस तरह सोचते हैं, किस तरह देखते हैं और जीवन की अनुभूतियों को किस तरह महसूस करते हैं, उसी को बारीकी से पेश करते हैं और हम एक साथ मिलकर उन्हें देख पाते हैं। तो इस सशक्त माध्यम के द्वारा इस नववर्ष में विश्व भर को एक साथ बांधने के लिए नया संदेश दे पाएंगे। इन्हीं शुभकामनाओं के साथ हम एक बार फिर मुख्य अतिथि एवं आप सभी सम्मानित अतिथियों का यहाँ स्वागत करते हैं, जो यहाँ उपस्थित हैं और जो दूरदर्शन के ज़रिए इस कार्यक्रम का अपने अपने घरों में सीधा प्रसारण का आनंद ले रहे हैं। धन्यवाद।
Our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. G.P. Sippy, delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's wonderful to have you with us today for this inaugural ceremony of the 24th International Film Festival of India, an evening of celebration and felicitation, of honoring and applauding the makers and creators, actors and actresses of the multifarious world of cinema. It is unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, that due to several flight schedule cancellations and also unfortunate happenings, a galaxy of luminaries will not be with us this evening. We're certainly going to miss them, and I'm sure they're going to be disappointed that despite their best efforts, they haven't been able to make it. But in fact, many of them might even still be on their way. Our chief guest this evening is a champion of the cause of the film industry whose contribution to Indian cinema for over 40 years has been overwhelming. We're extremely honored and privileged to have you with us this evening, Mr. Sippy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending him a very warm welcome. And now for more words of welcome, the director of the Directorate of Film Festivals, Mrs. Deepak Sandhu.
Shri G.P. Sippi, our chief guest for this evening, Honorable Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Shri Ajit Kumar Panja, Honorable Deputy Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Girija Vyas, distinguished guests from India and abroad, members of the press and friends. It is with a mixture of many different emotions that I stand before you as we assemble to launch the 24th of our international film festivals. Over the last year, we in the Directorate of Film Festivals and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting have worked very hard towards the realization of this moment, selecting and inviting films, delegates, arranging theatres and functions, even constructing a new auditorium in this Sri Fort complex to enhance its facilities as a festival venue. Our only hope is that over the next 10 days, all our guests, our film industry professionals, our film critics, and film enthusiasts will be able to extract something of value from the festival, be it in terms of seeing new films, catching up with classics, interacting with their colleagues from all over the world, developing friendships, or simply getting down to the business of cinema, all of which contribute in 100 small ways towards the realization of our festival motto, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. I would like to thank all the multifarious agencies, too numerous to name here, who have contributed in countless ways to the organization of this festival. I would particularly like to acknowledge our debt of gratitude to our Honorable Minister, Shri Ajit Kumar Panja, our Honorable Deputy Minister, Dr. Girija Vyas, and to all the officials of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting for their unflagging guidance and support. I would also like to thank Shri G.P. Sippi, one of our most respected and successful producers, for his invaluable presence as our chief guest tonight. A special welcome to you, Sippi Sahab. And I would like to thank our film industry, which has come out so wholeheartedly to support us in the organization of the festival. And I'd like to welcome all those members of the film industry who are here present this evening. And so, it is with some small sense of achievement and a little pride, some apprehension even, but more than that, a sense of anticipation and honor that I would like to welcome all of you to this gathering and to the entire festival. I would like to wish you all happy viewing and a happy festival full of worthwhile encounters for which you can take back memories to cherish. Thank you all very much.
After those words of welcome, it's time now, ladies and gentlemen, to share in a musical interpretation of the festival motto, Vasudev Kutumbakam, the whole world is a family. A presentation that's been created especially for this evening by one of our most celebrated maestros of music. His impeccable dexterity and sophisticated allure blend to create a magical and mesmerizing quality. Charismatic and acclaimed as one of our most renowned performing artists, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zakir Hussain.
Good evening and welcome to all of you from near and far, and I hope that we all will have a very, very fine new year starting very soon. I have been singled out as a performer of great importance in this piece of music that you would be hearing soon, but I would like to point out to you that every member of this combination that you will see tonight is a master in his own right, has accomplished various incredible feats on their own instrument, and I'm very proud to be a part of this combination today. It is strange that nowadays it is possible to call drumming music. There was a time when drumming was noise and music was music. So it is great to be a part of this important change, and I'm very, very happy and thankful to all of you for letting me share this great moment with you. So please welcome the Vasudeva Kutumb today. Mr. Bhavani Shankar with his red jacket, Shri T.H. Vinayakram from the south, Mr. Shekhar, Mr. Raman, Mr. Nitin, Mr. Madhav Pawar, Tawfiq Qureshi, and Homi Baba. Beautiful things about this performance is that we really have had no time to rehearse. We all came here to Delhi from different parts of the country and just barely arrived in time to paint ourselves a little bit clean and get out here. And what makes this work and what makes this a universal thing is that rhythm has always been a part of our lives, always, guiding us through various changes since the beginning of time, whether it was a church bell, or a temple gong, or a war drum, or any kind of talking drum that were used to send signals across the continent in Africa, various things. The drums have played a very important role in the changes in human life. And we all know that rhythm is universal, so we really are going to watch each other and hope that we are able to connect rhythmically and musically for you. Bear with us and help us along if you can. Thank you.
जाकिर हुसैन जी और उनके साथियों ने संगीत का जो सुंदर कार्यक्रम प्रस्तुत किया, उसमें छिपे भाव ने हम सभी को सचमुच एक कुटुंब के सदस्यों के समान बांध लिया है। जाकिर हुसैन के हाथों में सचमुच ऐसा जादू है कि लगता है वो एक सूखे चमड़े जिनमें कोई जान नहीं है, उसमें अपनी उंगलियों को छूकर ऐसी ताकत पैदा कर देते हैं कि लगता है कि मुर्दे में भी जान आ जाएगी। अब मैं सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री श्री अजीत कुमार पांडे जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि वे कृपया मंच पर आएं और अपना अध्यक्ष भाषण प्रस्तुत करें।
our very respected chief guest, Mr. G.P. Shippi, my colleagues, ministers, members of parliament, and very respected people present of creative art, friends, ladies and gentlemen. I extend a warm welcome to all of you, particularly our guests and delegates who had to take a lot of trouble to reach Delhi because of various difficulties of which you are aware of. I am sure their stay will be happy, and they must have found that our officers and men, especially of Film Festival, tried their best to connect them wherever they were outside Delhi and bring them here. Unfortunately, many are still stranded in Bombay and other places. We are trying to bring them as quickly possible to participate from at least tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We are coming to Delhi after 4 years. In fact, 24 years we are having this festival. First one was in Bombay. 4 years, this festival were taken to other parts of our country. And everywhere, wherever I had the opportunity to attend, your cooperation, your presence, the full and complete support of the creative art have enlivened this very function. Today, I do pay my tribute to the late Satyajit Ray, the legend of Indian cinema, the master of cinematic form of art. Sri Ray added quality and value. In our largest production of films, as you all know, in whole of the world, cinema, the most far-reaching art form of our time. Indeed, it is a universal message, a message that is not constrained by restrictions like language or religion. It is in cinema, more than in any other form of art or communication, that people can speak to people. To my mind, cinema is the only medium which provides us the opportunity for cultural transfer of experience, of understanding, insight, and above all, sharing delight by the vast audience at a cost within their capacity. There has never been any attempt in our country to force any culture or anything on anyone else. India, the fullest freedom is enshrined in our constitution to develop ourselves. Therefore, many good films have been produced in our country and in other developing world. We can now possibly think of a non-aligned film pool, like non-aligned news pool, for exchange of good films and film-based material among the developing nation. It is time for developed countries to understand the aspirations of the developing nation in this form of art. I firmly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the official motto of the festival, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning, as we have already been told, the whole world is one family, is what humanity is trying to achieve. Communal harmony was taught and reminded by you who are engaged in creative art, whenever any one of us made a mistake, it is you who are engaged in creative arts, told us what is the correct way. At this hour, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, your contribution during the freedom struggle, remembering your contribution for keeping the entire country together, at this hour, I will request you to make us reaffirm and tell us pointedly that we have to keep our country together. Innocent lives lost recently. For communal disturbances, we pay our respect today. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore I request you to stand for some time in honor of those who have lost their lives. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to request our chief guest to light the lamp which stands as a symbol of our unity with faith and confidence in ourselves, and with the assurance that however long and difficult the journey ahead, we shall reach our destination of friendship, understanding, universal brotherhood. Mr. G.P. Sippy may kindly come to the dais. I will also ask my colleague Dr. Girija Vyas, Deputy Minister, Mr. Bhargav, the Secretary, Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, the Joint Secretary, and the Director, Srimati Sandhu, to come and assist Mr. G.P. Sippy.
भारतीय परंपरा के अनुसार द्वीप प्रज्वलित करके आज के कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ किया गया है। अब मैं आज के हमारे मुख्य अतिथि श्री जीपी सिप्पी जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि वे अपना उद्घाटन भाषण प्रस्तुत करें।
Friends, I'm very happy to have inaugurated 24th International Film Festival in India. In India, we make about 800 movies a year. It is the largest movie-making country in the world. We make movies of all types, and the audience is tremendous who sees cinema. I have been working in the movies since last about 50 years. And since these festivals have been taking place, I take very keen interest. I see to it that I don't miss any festival. Somehow I feel this is the finest event which is taking place in this country. Friends, the one message of cinema is that the world is one family. We all work together for each other, for the good of the country. And in a cinema hall, you find people sitting. A person doesn't know next person what is caste, creed, religion, or beliefs are. He sits there and enjoys the movie. They share the laughter, the joys, the sorrows, the moments of agony and ecstasy. This is what the cinema has brought to the world. It is really a sad thing that in spite of this thing, there are many parts in this world where there is a lot of unrest, and India is no exception. In India, especially now, some communal frenzy has taken hold, and a lot of people are losing their lives, which is very, very deplorable. We must take a vow. I appeal to all my fellow film producers, technicians, and artists to see that they make movies, they take all efforts for communal harmony and national integration and oneness of this country. No country can survive, and especially India. We are proud that there are different cultures, there are different religions, there are so many different things. But in spite of this thing, we are one people. We are Indians, and we shall continue to live as Indians. This is our vow today, and we must see that the entire nation follows things. Thank you.
जीपी सिपी जी ने सचमुच कितनी अच्छी बात कही है। अगर हम उनकी बातों को अपने जीवन में भी ला सकें तो कितना अच्छा हो। मेरे ख्याल से वी शांताराम की पड़ोसी फिल्म थी जिसमें एक पंडित ने मुल्ला का रोल किया था और मुल्ला ने पंडित का। फिल्मों में हम ये देखते हैं, महसूस करते हैं, लेकिन जीवन में हम ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं? ये सवाल हमें अपने से ज़रूर पूछना चाहिए। 1978 में जब मद्रास में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फिल्म समारोह का आयोजन किया गया था, तब पहली बार भारतीय पैनोरामा के नाम से भारतीय फिल्मों का एक अलग खंड आरंभ किया गया, जिससे विदेशी फिल्मकारों, समीक्षकों के साथ साथ भारतीय फिल्मकारों, समीक्षकों एवं दर्शकों को भी देश में बनी सर्वोत्तम फिल्मों को देखने का सुअवसर मिल पाया था, जिनमें कथाचित्र, गैर कथाचित्र एवं मेन स्ट्रीम की फिल्में शामिल हैं। इस समारोह में भारतीय पैनोरामा के अंतर्गत जिन फिल्मों को आप देख पाएंगे, उन्हीं के निर्देशक, अभिनेता, अभिनेत्रियों को जो आज यहाँ उपस्थित हैं, हम सम्मानित करेंगे। इसके लिए अब मैं पुनः सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्री श्री अजीत पांजा जी, सूचना एवं प्रसारण उप मंत्री डॉक्टर गिरिजा व्यास, श्री R.K. भार्गव, सचिव सूचना एवं प्रसारण मंत्रालय, संयुक्त सचिव श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि वह मंच पर पधारें। श्रीमती दीपक संधू कृपया सहायक हों।
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for us to honor and felicitate with thunderous applause makers and artists of the best of new Indian cinema, feature and non-feature that comprises the Indian panorama section, as well as the more familiarly known box office hits or mainstream films. First, the non-feature film section of the Indian panorama, which includes Prasar, The Final Attack. An army officer vows to avenge the killing of his junior, who was first handicapped and later killed. He accomplishes this with a vengeance only to be found in a court of law to be mentally unbalanced and ordered to undergo psychiatric treatment.
प्रहार फिल्म के निर्देशक हैं नाना पाटेकर और इस फिल्म की अभिनेत्री हैं सुप्रसिद्ध डिम्पल कपाडिया, जिन्हें हमने पहली बार बॉबी में देखा। उसके 10 साल बाद वो पुनः सागर में आई, लेकिन वो ऐसी अभिनेत्री थी जो 10 साल तक पर्दे से बाहर रहकर भी हर दम हमारे सामने रही। इस पैनोरामा के अंतर्गत आप इन्हें रुदाली में भी देख पाएंगे।
Thank you, Dimple, for being with us this evening. A Tale Set in Assam, Haladhar, the Yeoman, is the director's first film, and with its debut, won him a national award last year. A triumph of the belief that justice will prevail and a realization, ultimately, that truth must be upheld. Haladhar, the Yeoman.
हलधर फिल्म के निर्देशक हैं संजीव हजारिका और अतुल पाचानी इस फिल्म के अभिनेता हैं। उनके साथ हैं बाकिज़ा बेगम अभिनेत्री।
A tale of the saga of lives battered by the forces of nature and fate. It unfolds the intrigues of the unknown, the mystery of challenge and unconventional personal relationships. Podda Nodir Majhi, boatman of the river Padma.
पौद्दा नौदीर माझे इस फिल्म की नायिका रूपा गांगुली हैं और निर्देशक हैं गौतम घोष, जिनका नाम राष्ट्रीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय फिल्म समारोह का एक हिस्सा बन चुका है। आप पहले वृत्तचित्र निर्माता थे। माँ भूमि, दखल, पार, अंतरजली यात्रा आपकी पुरस्कृत फिल्में हैं।
Taking us on to Tahader Kotha, their story. Set in the early 50s, this is a film in Bengali, a study of a freedom fighter who, after having spent 11 years in prison, finds himself alienated from his family and the world to which he's returned, both of which have nothing in common with the dream for which he once fought.
ताहादेर कथा फिल्म के निर्देशक बुद्धदेव दासगुप्ता और इस फिल्म के अभिनेता हैं मिथुन चक्रवर्ती। बुद्धदेव दासगुप्ता अपने देश के ख्याति प्राप्त निर्देशकों में से हैं। पहले इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ाया करते थे। आप कवि हैं, 5 किताबें आपकी छप चुकी हैं। दूरत्व, नीम और नपुन्ना, गृह युद्ध, शीत, ग्रीष्म स्मृति, अंधी गली, फेरा, बाघ बहादुर आपके कुछ जाने माने फिल्में हैं। टॉल डार्क हैंडसम मिथुन चक्रवर्ती। बंगाल के इस कलाकार ने FTII से डिस्टिंक्शन हासिल किया और मृणाल सेन के मृगया के इस आदिवासी ने तब से अब तक 150 हिंदी फिल्मों के नायक के रूप में हमारे सामने आते रहे हैं और कई राष्ट्रीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार भी जीत चुके हैं। इस फिल्म की अभिनेत्री अंशुआ मजुमदार।
A debut feature film sensitively handled by a woman director, Miss Beatty's Children, is about a young English missionary who makes it her mission to save young girls from becoming Devadasis. Gradually, she becomes more Indian than British with a family of several adopted children. Even though World War II changes everything for her, she is determined that no matter what, she will never leave India.
मिस बेटीज चिल्ड्रंस फिल्म की निर्देशिका हैं पैमिला रुक्स। ये फिल्म उनकी अपनी उपन्यास पर आधारित है, जिसकी पटकथा लेखन में भी आपने योगदान दिया है। दूरदर्शन के लिए कई सामयिक विषयों पर आधारित कार्यक्रमों का निर्माण किया है। इस फिल्म के लिए आपको निर्देशिका की पहली फिल्म के लिए सर्वोत्तम पुरस्कार भी मिला है।
The Gujarati film Hun Hunshi Hunshilal translates as Love in the Time of Malaria, a parable of a middle-class youth who lives in a kingdom that suffers from a plague of mosquitoes. The film is a political allegory. Hun Hunshi Hunshilal.
गुजराती फिल्म हुन हुनशी हुनशीलाल के निर्देशक हैं संजीव शाह। FTII के छात्र हैं। बॉम्बे, आसिटी, मिर्च मसाला आदि फिल्मों का संपादन किया है। ये आपकी पहली फिल्म है जिसका निर्माण, निर्देशन, संपादन आपने खुद किया है। इस फिल्म के मुख्य अभिनेता हैं मोहन गोखले।
I don't think he's with us this evening, so we'll go on to the next film, Chellavi, based on a folk tale from Karnataka. Once being capable of turning herself into a blossom-laden tree, Chellavi divulges the secret of her miracle, and those she shares it with treat the forest cruelly, and Chellavi can no longer regain her form and is left a half-human stump.
चेल्लवी के निर्देशक हैं भारतीय सिनेमा एवं कन्नड़ साहित्य के सुप्रसिद्ध नाटककार, अभिनेता गिरीश कर्नाड। आप किसी तारुफ के मोहताज नहीं। फिल्म संस्कार, जिसमें राष्ट्रपति का स्वर्ण पदक मिला था, जिस फिल्म के लेखक एवं मुख्य अभिनेता आप थे, पहली बार आपकी पहचान पूरे भारत से हुई और तब से अब तक आपको किसी न किसी रूप में हम छोटे और बड़े पर्दे पर देखते ही रहते हैं।